you have any message to the Iranian people?
They better negotiate a fair deal.
Amid flaring tensions with Iran, the United States has begun repositioning troops based at several military sites across the Middle East for undisclosed missions. According to a report by the New York Times, hundreds of troops have been moved from Udeid Air Base in Qatar, info shared by Pentagon officials. Comparable troop and equipment movements have also been observed at U.S. installations in Bahrain, home to the headquarters of the Navy's Fifth Fleet, as well as in Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and the United Arab Emirates. According to the New York Times, American officials are apprehensive that roughly 30,000 to 40,000 American troops deployed across the Middle East could become primary targets for the Islamic Republic if a full-scale war were to break out. In response to these concerns, the U.S. is reportedly strengthening its presence in the region by moving additional air defense systems into the Middle East to better protect its troops and assets. At the same time, the United States has decided to keep 2 aircraft carriers positioned far enough from Iranian territory to reduce the risk of them becoming targets in any potential retaliation. Although the Trump administration publicly says it is pursuing a diplomatic solution, insiders suggest Tehran's proposals may not be enough to stop Donald Trump from considering military action. The Jerusalem Post reported that internal planning has grown more detailed and expansive, especially after Trump recently floated the idea of regime change in the Islamic Republic and warned the government they better make a deal.
Mr. President, what's your message to the Iranian people after 2 rounds of talks with them? Do you have any message to the Iranian people?
The Iranian people in Iran or people here?
People in Iran.
They better negotiate a fair deal. They better negotiate. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time. They were going to hang 800, 2 weeks ago, hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane, and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 837 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. And they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody. But no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell.
Amid news of a U.S. military buildup and troop relocations in preparation for a potential conflict, a few days earlier, while the second round of U.S.-Iran talks was underway, Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei openly challenged Trump and threatened the might of a secret Iranian weapon that could send the American warship USS Abraham Lincoln to the bottom of the sea.
I am saying that we are free. These people are also martyrs because in the turmoil, the enemy tries to make it seem to them that they are right, so they say it. The President of the United States says that our army is the most powerful army in the world. The strongest army in the world, perhaps to such an extent. Sometimes it gets hit so hard that it can't even get up. They say, we sent a destroyer toward Iran, a very good destroyer. Of course, it is a dangerous device. But even more dangerous than the destroyer is the weapon that can take away the destroyer's power in the heart of the sea. In a series of public statements and formal remarks delivered quite recently to the gathered audience, he took the opportunity to express his thoughts and provide a detailed perspective on the current situation that everyone has been closely monitoring over the past few weeks. He said that he has frequently complained to his own people that for 47 long years, the United States of America has not been able to successfully eliminate the Islamic Republic, 47 long years. That America has not been able to eliminate the Islamic Republic. This is a good admission. I'm not saying you won't be able to do it either. In fact, they say a nation like ours, with this culture, this history, and these high values, will not be brought to its knees by corrupt leaders like those currently in power in America. Negotiations should take place, but honestly, this is not the time for negotiations. If negotiations are to happen, deciding the outcome in advance is a wrong and foolish thing to do. You say, let's talk and reach an agreement on the formula. So why are you determining the result beforehand? We absolutely must reach this agreement. It's foolish, and this is exactly the kind of thinking that comes from the Basij, the IRGC, and people like that.
Adding to the threats from the Iranian side, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi made it clear from the United Nations stage in Geneva that if the U.S. launches any attack on Iran, this time the consequences won't be confined to its borders. And Tehran is prepared to defend against any threat or aggression.
Iran has always been prepared to engage in meaningful and result-oriented negotiations. Any sustainable agreement must ensure the full recognition of Iran's legitimate rights, deliver tangible benefits, and be safeguarded against unilateral actions that undermine trust and credibility. According to these principles, and as a result of the good offices by our friendly countries in the region, which we are very grateful, a new window of opportunity has opened, under which we had the second round of the negotiations with the United States earlier today, here in Geneva. We are hopeful that negotiation will lead to a sustainable and negotiated solution which can serve the interests of relevant parties and the broader region. At the same time, as demonstrated during the aggression of 13 June 2025, Iran remains fully prepared to defend itself against any threat or act of aggression. The consequences of any attack against Iran will not be confined to its borders. To conclude, Mr. President, I would like to emphasize that the Conference on Disarmament must overcome its paralysis and fulfill its mandate through the commencement of negotiations on a comprehensive nuclear weapons convention as an urgent necessity. Accountability is not punitive, it is preventive. Inaction in the face of nuclear threats, aggression, and double standards undermines the very foundations of international law. The choice before us is clear. Either we dismantle nuclear weapons, or they will one day dismantle us. Together we can work to achieve a world free of nuclear weapons.